Hello, friends. This is Sundareshan, your compliance guru. You are tuned into my channel for boards and senior management that helps you understand the nuances inside boardrooms. In the last few videos, we have seen the various modes by which boards can take decisions. These were board meeting, committee meetings, video conferencing meetings, and of course, resolution that are passed by circulation. These decisions which the boards take are based on certain powers that they exercise inside boardrooms. All of us would have heard this power corrupts. But what is this power? These powers are very simple. Suppose a company wants to buy back its securities. A company wants to amalgamate or merge or sell off. The company may want to invest, the company may want to give loans or grant loans, and then the company may want to do so many things. Now, these are some of the powers that are exercised by the board in a board meeting only. Now, when I'm saying powers that are exercised only by the board in a board meeting, so what happened to the other forms that we discussed would be your question. The other forms also exist. But this is what the law says, restrictive powers that can be dealt with, handled by the board only in a board meeting. Which means a simple item like opening a bank account for the company. Yeah, it can be done through a resolution by circulation. It can be done through a committee meeting, or it can be done through a video conferencing meeting. So, there are different types of meetings, different modes of getting these decisions executed. And what we need to understand by the term powers is there are a list of powers which are around a dozen of them which are listed in the law, which the boards can exercise only in a physical board meeting or through a video conferencing meeting. Which means these powers are not to be exercised by the board by way of passing a resolution by circulation. In case the board does one of these acts which I just discussed, which is say investing the surplus of the company, however urgent it may be, a decision to invest, a decision to give loan cannot be approved by the board of directors by way of a circular resolution or a resolution that is passed by circulation. What if the board does one of these acts? Then the law is very clear. What ought not to be done, if it is done, then that act becomes void. Why am I saying void? Very simple. Since law clearly says these are the powers that needs to be exercised by the board only in a board meeting. In case the board does it in some other mode, then it is not in line with law, which is violative of the law itself. And that is the reason this action or the decision becomes null and void. It's called ultra vires, the act itself, which is beyond the powers of the board and beyond the powers of the legislation itself, which nobody can ratify. Which means, can certain powers of the board be ratified? Yes. There are certain powers which, if the board has exceeded its limits, then shareholders can ratify such acts. If shareholders have exceeded some of their powers, then the regulators can ratify these acts. But if a company exceeds or violates the legislation itself, then nobody can ratify these acts. That is why, friends, the powers of the board, there is nothing called implied power. Most of it is explicit. It is all written. It is all documented in some place or the other, be it the articles of association or the legislations or through a board approval, finally by way of a shareholder approval. So some of these places where you can look up where the powers of the board vests are these. So understand, no act, no power can be exercised by the board which is ultra vires, which means beyond its power. With that, we now move on to other interesting areas in the next few videos. Till then, keep watching, keep questioning, stay compliant, stay safe. See you soon.